my point is that our digital infrastructure, the things that has built and we are using now, it's for the internet era. That's 20 years ago. And our society and our cloud structure, our digital structure, is not resistant enough in order to be able to tolerate the AI age. Because in the AI age, we do have a lot of things different than the digital age. So imagine that if nowadays the hacking is happening, like you mentioned dark web, you mentioned like the hackers that they're communicating with each other, but in the AI era, those communications are happening between different AI agents, malicious AI agents, that we can't really have or understand their communications. Even we don't understand their languages sometimes. And so there's no way that you can monitor those conversations and know that there is a hacking going to happen in this infrastructure. Also, there are a lot of things, like imagine that nowadays we are talking about one hacker or one group of hacker. You can create like dozens, hundreds, thousands, or hundreds of thousands, even millions of agents pretty quickly, pretty easy, that they can all target one infrastructure, and that would be something that with humans or even with AI tools that we have now, nowadays, we are not able to defend ourselves against such type of multi-dimensional attacks. So just having the same mentality that we have now in order to protect ourselves against such threats is not something that we are able to address. Except there is something that FBI knows and we don't know. Maybe you can put some thoughts about it. But in general, we have to think about a few steps in the future that how AI and if in the hands of the wrong guys, obviously. Because AI is the force of good, we can use it in a lot of good use cases. But at the same time, if it's it's a powerful tool. So if you give it in the hands of some malicious people, then it can be a force of bad. So think about it, that how we can rethink our digital infrastructure, even like cloud structure, the things that we are using now because it's convenient, like passwords, like cloud, like all of these tools, we have to rethink them for the AI age.
Well, I feel like my colleagues here are not getting much sleep. It's like, there's a lot that keeps them up at night, but definitely agree with the points. And one thing, you guys all hear about data breaches, right? And all the data, all the time, whether it's ransomware or whether it's some misconfiguration, data gets out. To your point, it's that the AI is harnessing all that data and leveraging it in order to say, okay, I want to do a phishing attack. Okay, I can use all this data that's been collected and leaked out there on the dark web or sometimes on the regular internet and craft the perfect attack, the perfect way to target an individual or to target a business or infrastructure. So you do have that threat out there. And a lot of people don't even realize how much data is available. Now, in a way, the fact that it's difficult to process that data, that kind of saved us for a while. But with AI, you can constantly have that data being processed and exploited and used to target us. And that's all automated. So your threat actor could be going to do something else while this process is running. So you have that issue. And for me, what keeps me up at night, because I like to sleep, is that the threat of when you use AI and it's an advisor, it's just a tool to say, oh, let me get a rough outline for some document. Or you're using it to gather input that goes to a human, and the human is making the final decision. That, I can sleep okay with that. But when AI is making that connection to operational technology, to where the AI is making the final call, whether it's a self-driving vehicle or whether it's something that's controlling maybe our water purification, that's where we really get into a risky area because there's no human oversight. So we really need to maintain human oversight, at least at this point of where AI is, to prevent unintended consequences and keep that risk reduced.
Can I add one point?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so the human in the loop, I do agree with you, it's very good. At the same time, sometimes we see that humans in the loop are not bad. Can you also give some examples? Like we go to, sorry, I'm asking your questions, but that's a very good point. So human in the loop, like the water systems, is very good, but also human in the loop means more error and more.
Sure.
So which areas do you think that that should be handled with more of the human involvement, and which areas would be more of AI involvement?
No, go right ahead.
No, that's a great question. If it's something that can be, that's a repetitive process where there's not a lot of variance, and that's something that humans are not very good at. We're not really good at repeated kind of mundane tasks. AI is good at that and doesn't get bored. But if there's a situation where there's a threat to life, if it goes wrong, there should always be a human there. So it's a matter of just doing that risk equation to say, okay, maybe it's not likely, but if something happens, you know, you're gonna have severe consequences. You would want that human in the loop. But at the same time, I agree with you 100% because the human, most data breaches and hacks, a human is involved. And AI does make it easier to hack the human because it makes it easier to target what appeals to different individuals or to trick them in some way.
All right, so now I've got a question for you, right? Yes. So what is AI? Because my understanding, right, and I'll give my definition in a minute as well, but it's been around since the 1960s. Well, one of the arguments that I make that it's been more prevalent now is because we actually have a way to interact with it where we actually see language interaction, which helps us understand a little bit more some of the processes that, you know, AI or some of these scripted technologies provide. I mean, is that correct, or am I just way off base there? And what is the overall definition for everybody out there?
So AI, artificial intelligence, is basically creating intelligent agents that can mimic our intelligence or another biological being's intelligence. So it started from 1950s or earlier, but nowadays we have exponential intelligence happening. So what that means is that if there's a law called Moore's law, so if it took like 20 years for doubling the intelligence of the initial machines, then it gets 10 years, 5 years, and that period of time is getting shorter and shorter. Basically, that means that our intelligence, the intelligence being that we are creating, they are doubling their intelligence nowadays in shorter period of time, and we have exponential growth of intelligence that is happening. That means that right now, the LLMs, large language models that we are using, they have around, some people say 130 to 150 IQ, but in a couple of years, that would mean that they are way more intelligent than any human beings. And by itself, imagine that they can handle a lot of repetitive tasks as you are being at the same time, way faster than humans. And also, they are going to be more intelligent than humans. So if we give them the power to be able to make decisions that can affect humans or financial industries or any aspects of our lives, then it would be so much entangled with our being that they can shift the future of humanity. And that can be concerning, and at the same time it can be very positive. It all depends on how we use them, use this strong tool, and the people that are using them are conscious enough to get the most out of those tools that we are using now.
So,
did I answer your question?
No, 100%. So I think a couple things that you said that are really, really interesting, right? Is one, did anybody catch like the current IQ level of AI? 100 to 150. Average intelligence is 100. What was Einstein?
160.
160? Yeah. So we're already talking about certain AI models that have the intelligence or intellectual capacity of Albert Einstein. And we're talking about how that can quickly go just astronomically higher, right, in a very short amount of time. That being said, the point that I want to drive home is we have relied upon, quote, AI or technologies that have learned self-driving cars, autonomous vehicles, for years. It is just recently that it kind of scares us because we are getting these answers back and these language models that, quite frankly, the majority of people are going, huh, I never thought about this. This is more insightful than even I have thought about this certain topic. That in and of itself, personally, interested in the rest of the group, scares a lot of folks, right? Things that are new, things that tend to be smarter than us, things that can do things in a more expeditious way than we can. I remember, and this is showing my age now, I remember when the computer came out, we were like, oh no, it's going to take over all blue collar jobs or white collar jobs. It's going to take all white collar jobs. No longer going to be a middle class. And I'm seeing the same thing said about AI and the AI. So, I would just pose that back to everybody else as far as what we see the future of AI. If anybody has a differing opinion on AI, but I agree, it's all in the mechanism of use. It can be a mechanism of good. There's also a lot of potential for mechanism of evil there as well. Just like any of the tools that we've invented over the years, any of the weapons that we've invented over the years, right? For hunting, gathering, that then have been used for war, right? You can go back hundreds of years. In my simple estimation, AI is a very powerful tool. It's very dependent on how you use it.
And I will say that, you're right. You look at the summer blockbuster Oppenheimer.
Can you use the mic? Because we can't hear anything.
Any better now?
Yeah.
So you look at the summer blockbuster Oppenheimer. I did a lot of research over time, and I was always mesmerized on that. And it started off for good, but when he actually saw the devastation that can come out there, definitely wrecked the rest of his life that's there. And I think AI has been around a long time, and I think a majority of the population didn't know it existed until they spelt the letters ChatGPT.